sessions in other venues as well. Honorable Minister and Pulavinaka to all of you. It's very good to see you in numbers, and I'm sure that your sacrifice of this afternoon will be a worthwhile.
Thank you all for being here this afternoon so that I can address you on a number of topics that I feel as teachers you need to know. So to start off with, I want to say that our attendance in school has improved. Yesterday's statistics, the data we collected showed that the attendance in school is over 70%, despite the challenges we had in terms of weather, as well as by a certain section of the community who were not in favor of opening schools. Opening of school is extremely crucial. You know it, and I know it. We cannot keep our children at home forever. We all know that face-to-face learning is the best mode of learning, while we can combine e-learning and other modes like remote learning. But nothing beats face-to-face learning. And I want to thank each one of you for working extremely hard during COVID challenges we were facing as a country. While you were home, I know that most of you were working from home, preparing worksheets. You were busy conducting classes online. You have been preparing notes. Some of you even crossed mountains and rivers and streams to deliver worksheets to your students. Teachers had Viber groups formed with their students, and they were able to communicate with them. And I truly appreciate the contribution you have made. You are our superheroes. If it wasn't for teachers, the learnings would have lost completely. But you made it seamless, you made it possible just through your sheer dedication, your commitment to the students as well as to the parents. You understand so well who your clients are. Your clients are students, and my clients are students as well as teachers. That's where the equation changes. And as the employer, I appreciate the work that you have done during this time. Teachers have been the pillar of strength, providing that support to Ministry of Education as and when we needed. A lot of teachers were working at different centers, trying to clean up the data that we had on vaccination. Teachers were helping in the quarantine facilities. Teachers were actually helping Ministry of Health in the vaccination rollout. So I appreciate the work you have done. I also like to take this opportunity to thank the school management committees. They have been very good in a way to Ministry of Health by providing the facilities. Whether it's we need the facility as to use it as evacuation centers during flooding, or during cyclones, or we needed facility for COVID-19, they always made it available. So I thank them as well for the contribution. Ladies and gentlemen, the point that I want to bring to your notice is some of the changes that we are trying to introduce. Particularly, I'll talk from the teacher perspective, that will make things better for teachers. You know that we have 13,000 teachers, and that makes one of the biggest workforce in the government education sector. Now, 13,000 teachers, there are various ways of communication. One is direct communication, where we have your emails and we can do a mail blast and you will get the information. Second mode of communication we have created is the Teacher Talanwa platform. Teacher Talanoa platform is you can say, it will not only create two-way communication between the teachers and Ministry of Education, but also amongst teachers. And that platform is purely for professional use. For example, if you want to share notes, you want to share lesson plans, you want to share ideas, you want to give some suggestions to Ministry of Education, we want to hear from our teachers. And you have the voice to do that now through Teacher Talanoa platform. That's your platform. Use it. Bring things to our attention at Ministry. However, Teachers Talanoa platform is only for professional use. But I also know the teachers have grievances. You have pay issues, you may have qualification upgrade issues, or you may be facing some problems within the school setting where you feel that it's not fair the way the system works in your school, or you may feel that there is some preferential treatment given to a group of teachers, or whatever it may be. So if you have certain grievances, we will launch a teacher helpline dedicated for my 13,000 teachers. Instead of you calling individual staff at Ministry of Education, particularly in the HR section. Now, sometimes it's very difficult because you just pick up the phone, you have a conversation, nothing is recorded, and then later on when you get really frustrated because you have not heard, then you say, no, but I've spoken to so-and-so, I've given all my details, but then the evidence is not there. So for that reason, we are going to launch our teacher helpline. It simply means that there are people who will be attending to your call, and then once you lodge your complaint, then they have to attend to it and close the case. Right? So in our books, so if we receive 30 concerns or complaints, then at the end of the month, we should close those 30 complaints. So our books are balanced and you are not frustrated. Now, what I have found that normally teachers have problems when it comes to teacher transfer. And I'll talk to you about that later on, right? But there are some issues related to teacher transfer, but we can deal with it. There is a policy, as you know, and policies are created to ensure there is fairness in the system, like we are fair to everyone. If we don't follow the policy, then we'll be doing some favor to some teachers and not to the others. And as an institution, we cannot do that. So it is for this reason we have got teacher transfer policy, and we've got many other policies in place. And I'm encouraging teachers to please read those policies, because that truly guides the teaching profession. And it's good that you should be on top of it. Right, where you can code sections and remind HR or remind whoever you like, this is what the policy says, and based on this policy, I want certain actions to be taken. So it'll be done in a professional manner. So I request all of you to read the policies. Besides the policies itself, we are trying to change the education sector, which is more, I would say, more friendly to our children, more towards developing certain skills required to pursue degrees or to go into TVET courses. Currently, our system is such that when the children come to school, deep down in our heart and in our mind, we are trying to produce children who will all be degree holders. That's our focus, like they're all going to university. And that's how we teach them. We do not look after the development of natural skills and abilities students have. And somehow or the other, we need to encourage our children who have natural talents. And we must do it. Because it's no point forcing a child if you and I know that there is some limitation. So I want the teachers to slightly move away and try and provide this holistic development in a child. I have been told that teachers have been completing the syllabus very quickly. By mid of second term, the syllabus are complete. Am I right? Now that's not what teaching and learning is all about. It's not a task that we need to finish the syllabus and then just do revision. There is so much capacity within our brain to learn, and if you're going to rush through the syllabus, obviously we're just trying to complete a task. So there are some changes that we want to bring about. First is to move away from this exam-centric mode that we are in. Everything is about exam, first term exam, second term exam, third term exam. Finish the syllabus quickly so that we can just do revision. We're going to move away from that. From the new school year, we will have mid-year exam and annual exam. That's it. That will save your time. We will save a lot of resources, and we will be focusing on creative learning, discovery learning, and exploration type of learning, where we allow students to explore and understand the concept through such mode of teaching, rather than being very textbook oriented and everything that we do is through textbook, because there are other resources that you can use. Now, I must say to you that teaching and learning was very different about 20 years ago, because during that time we didn't have internet. Children didn't have access to smart phones. Schools did not have, they simply did not have smart TVs. They did not have internet connection. So the teaching and learning was through libraries, only chalk and talk, some practicals, and that's about it. But now, our children, they're tech savvy. They like to do things through their phone, and therefore we need to teach them through this electronic device. So e-learning is very, very, very important. One cannot complain that we don't have internet, therefore we cannot teach. You know, we have to be creative. So long as you have electricity and you have a smart TV, which I'll be encouraging each and every school, they must buy a smart TV. And you just need a USB, a stick, and you can upload the information you want, and you can play it on the screen, so that the kids can see when you are teaching something, and that concept they can understand better, rather than trying to teach things from the blackboard or through papers. So that would be something that the ministry is embarking on, and we have already hired a director e-learning, and that person will be conducting a survey of each and every school, just to find out whether you have computers, whether you have internet, whether you have smart TVs or not, and then we'll make sure that all these electronic devices are available in school, so that you can branch out into e-learning. Just to share with you, their schools, they have already embarked in this area. They're already doing this. I was quite amazed when I visited MGM High School in Suva, and I was told that if a teacher is teaching physics in one classroom through Moodle, he or she can teach 6 other children in 6 other classrooms. That will address our teacher shortages as well in special subjects. So this is the way I would say that electronic or internet has become the major disruptor to our education system. The traditional system of teaching needs to move away. No, you might be the type of person who doesn't like change, but we are forced to change. You've seen it how we changed in a very short period when we had COVID. Most of you didn't know how to use the different online platform. And there were teachers who relied on their students, and the students taught them. The Google Classroom, the various other platforms that can be used. And you have done a wonderful job from that perspective. So we need to move towards that. We need to reduce the paperwork. If we can store things electronically, then why do a lot of paperwork? Now, talking about paperwork, we are also reviewing the paperwork that is required by teachers. I know teachers have been complaining that there is too much paperwork in the system. So we had a group of head of schools who have been meeting for last 1 month, more than 1 month, and they have come up with a proposal to tell us which paperwork is important and we must continue, and what other aspects are not important and we must discontinue. So that would be another change for you, and we will be notifying the heads of school and the teachers through a circular, so that we are all on the same page. Because there is so much of duplication. While you were putting things on the FAMIS, you still had to have a hard copy and unnecessary printing of papers. If we can do everything online, then why do we need to print things? So we have reviewed that bit, and you will be notified at a later stage on the changes that is required. I truly want the teachers to focus on lesson plan. Lesson plan is not going away. That is the tools the teachers must have. It's just like a carpenter. Carpenter cannot just go to a building site without tools. Similarly, the teachers cannot enter the classroom without a lesson plan. That is our tool. And lesson plan should not be just copy and paste, copy and paste. You need to know what are the key questions you're going to ask, what resources you'll be using, whether you'll be using e-learning, whether you're going out, teaching students something under the tree, whatever it may be. But lesson plan needs to be developed in a very creative way. So I want the teachers to focus more on teaching and learning rather than unnecessary paperwork. So you will hear from us on that. Ladies and gentlemen, another major change that is that we are proposing to bring about is starting from ECE right up to year 13, we intend to introduce civics and moral education. And that will free up our curriculum where you are teaching family life and so forth. All that can be incorporated in civics and moral. And civics and moral will start from ECE right up to year 3. The focus will be on numeracy literacy, vernacular, gardening, PMAC, and civics and moral. That's it. No exams up to year 3. There is no competition, you know. We want children to learn because that's the age for learning. That reminds me of the survey that was undertaken by SBC. You already know PILNA, the subject, the test that is done by SBC. The result shows that the students, particularly in year 4, they're not doing very well with literacy. Year 6 students are doing well with literacy and numeracy. But Year 4 students are not doing well in literacy. The percentage for 2018 was around 53%, whereas 80 plus was for numeracy. So that clearly shows that we have not been placing a lot of emphasis in the foundation years to bring that skills in our children to read, write, understand. And we would like to see that our foundation is strong enough, so when they move into different classes, when you teach them difficult concept, they're able to comprehend, understand, and do well. Right? So foundation becomes extremely important, and it needs to be strong. Besides civics and moral education, numeracy and literacy, curriculum has been changed, and we thank DFED for assisting Ministry of Education. When the new school year starts in April, 90 schools have been selected for trialing, and once we trial the numeracy and literacy curriculum, that's when we will roll it out for all schools in the country. But trial is very important because we want to see how you understood the concept. Because again, we can have the best curriculum, but if you don't change your teaching style, then the curriculum, new curriculum is wasted. You cannot use chalk and talk. So the review has been done in such a way that it talks about teaching ways, different styles of teaching. So there is a handbook for teachers as well. There is a handbook, in fact, some guideline for the parents. So this is the first time we are engaging the parents as well in numeracy and literacy, because as I said, foundation years are very, very important, and parents need to be involved. Along with that, we are working with DFED to change the curriculum for English and mathematics in the secondary school. I have heard a lot from the teachers regarding mathematics curriculum, and I agree with them that we need to change that curriculum, and we are working with DFED, and as soon as we're able to achieve that, you will be notified. But that is work in progress. For ECE teachers, we are coming up with a new curriculum altogether for ECE, along with policies and standards, which we didn't have before. It's important that we, as I said, foundation needs to be better. So we need to look at that particular curriculum. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, I want to thank you, and thank you for the great work you've been doing. And our next session, which is a closed-door session, it will be more on employer-employee issues. And that's when I would like to hear from you, not only on employer-employee issues, but also what I have just said. If you think we are on the right track, or if you have other suggestions, or you have new ideas for improvement, I'm willing to listen, I'm willing to consider that as we move towards improving our education system. I want you to be part of this journey, right? At the end of the day, we can come up, as I said, with the best curriculum, best resources, but it's the teachers in the classroom who will make that difference. All right, so thank you very much.